hypocrisy is in the higher levels in government, when especially if people who are supposed to be financially and fiscally responsible make very poor decisions in regards to the budget, since they're supposed to be exemplary leaders in this regard.
There's a whole documentary about it's called I forgot the name. It's called Outraged, and it's about this guy trying to out gay politicians who the filmmaker thinks pretty convincingly are gay, but they work very hard to work against gay rights. So like that's a very infuriating. So like hypocrisy, where people have power over how other people live, that's kind of irritating, to say the least.
Two of the big issues he was addressing were, one, how do you get everyone health insurance? And two, how do you cut down on carbon pollution? And the two ideas he kind of landed on actually were started and were nurtured in Republican circles and conservative circles. Obama himself proposed it to his opponents. It quickly was tagged as socialism. Pretty major hypocrisy. Second one on what to do about carbon pollution, the idea that Obama landed on was called cap and trade. But as soon as when Obama proposed it, again, like the healthcare mandate, it became the equivalent of a fringe left-wing idea. And to me, just from a public policy perspective, it's been fascinating to watch that process of how ideology is not really the most important thing in politics. Defining parties these days, it's much more partisanship. If one party proposes it, the other party is against it for that very reason.
I'm going to admit to everyone that I am a very, very strong conservative. And many people in my life have told me not to judge and have told me not to be a hypocrite, when themselves totally judge me, totally tell me that I can't be who I am because they don't like it and because it offends them. Well, that's too bad. I am who I am.
I personally would like to think that I am not someone who's hypocritical, but perhaps just by saying that, that's hypocritical. I don't know, I remember thinking this, but I'm sure I've done and said things in the past that have not corresponded with what I've actually said and believed.
I think everyone probably is guilty of some amount of hypocrisy. Are you a hypocrite? What does that mean? You know, if you are hypocritical in one way of acting, are you a hypocrite for the rest of your life? You know, I don't like these labels, but I think we all behave pretty hypocritically. It's part of our nature to say one thing and mean something else. I have a much more fluid idea of how people are. We're not just people who fit into categories with certain labels. We're people trying to exist in a very confusing world.
I don't think there's anyone who can say that they're not guilty of hypocrisy, because it's such, you can get into little things that are hypocritical, like such little examples. I definitely have some of those flaws, but it's in trying through your mistakes with hypocrisy that you can really get better with not judging people. I believe that everyone in America, since we are in America, deserves that their own beliefs and